Hi guys, Dusty here, with kind of a serious video that I've worked a long time on. In this video, I've recorded it 3 times, honestly. The first time, my video didn't record. The second time, my audio recording computer crashed, so hopefully everything goes well this time. But I'm talking about why the next-gen consoles, and by next-gen consoles, I am referring to the PS4 and Xbox One. I know the Wii U is one, but I'm referring to the Xbox One and PS4. Why these consoles are not worth buying anymore to me. This is the reasons that I am not buying these consoles. It's my opinion to my situation. If you have reasons for buying them, I do not discount them at all. And this is also why the PC and Wii U are worth buying to me. For me, these are for my opinion and for my personal use. So once again, that's nothing against anyone else's opinions. This is just me. And quick disclaimer here, all images used are not mine and owned by their rightful owners. I figured I'd bring that up because none of these images are owned by me or taken by me, so. And first of all, big disclaimer, I am not a fanboy. I do not pledge allegiance to one certain company. I don't, if, say, Nintendo, which I do own a Wii U, if Nintendo did not make the Wii U a console worth buying to me, I wouldn't have bought it. So, that is a very big thing for me. I am not a fanboy. I own all of the consoles from the 6th and 7th generations. That includes the Dreamcast, the PS2, the GameCube, the Xbox, the Wii, the PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360. I own all those consoles. And also, big thing here, I do not own a gaming PC, but I am planning on getting one in the near future. And even though I don't own a gaming PC, I do play games on my PC. I don't really have a... It'll basically, to sum it up, it will run Dead Space 3 on low settings. Alright, so that's just kind of what I have. I'll play Minecraft on it. I played Brothers: The Tale of Two Sons on my channel. You can go ahead and check it out with the annotation link I'll leave right here. But yeah, I do not have a gaming PC, but I do enjoy gaming on the PC. So my reasons for not thinking that the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One are worth buying to me. This is kind of the best way I found to explain it. Looking back 20 years ago at PC compared to console gaming. And big thing here, just pretend that the Wii U doesn't exist till the end of the video. Trust me, this will all make sense, and hopefully I'm going to blow some minds here. But just pretend that the Wii U does not exist until I say it does. Alright? So, these are the pros of a console in 1994. Now I'm going to elaborate on all of these pros. First of all, the prices of the consoles and games. For a Super Nintendo, you'd be paying about $250 to $200. The prices were dropping by then since the PlayStation and Saturn also came out way later that year. And the Genesis was $200 to $150. Once again, the Genesis prices were going down at about that time. In 1994, and a comparable PC would have cost you at least $800. This is a PC that could do stuff kind of like the Super Nintendo and Genesis could do. Alright, so $800, that is 4 times the amount about you were paying for a Super Nintendo, or a Genesis. So that was a big deal. Alright. And then the next issue was native TV support. Consoles could always, out of the box, connect to that TV in the living room, which was usually much bigger than just a little computer monitor on a desk, which at that time were usually 12 to 13 inches. And the thing about the PC too is there was no way to connect it to your TV in most cases. PCs didn't have native TV support. They mostly connected out of VGA, and TVs usually connected out of composite or RF video at the time. A big issue about PCs and a big pro about consoles at the time were the controllers. The Super Nintendo had the amazing Dogbone controller that we all know and love. It has a perfect D-pad. It has perfect 4 buttons on the front, and of course the innovation of the shoulder buttons on the back of the controller. And by this time, the Genesis had the 6-button controller, which was also very comfortable and had 6 front-facing buttons with a D-pad. And before that, they had the very comfortable 3-button controller. And the PC had typically joysticks, which were good for flight simulators and things of that nature, but to really play a platformer with one of these, you'd really need a joystick or a keyboard, which I personally have never enjoyed playing platformers or anything like them on a keyboard. So that is a big reason for me that that's a pro to the consoles. And plug and play is a big thing with consoles of 1994. You could just plug it in and play it. It's as simple as that. You want to play the Super Nintendo, you plug the console in, you put the controller in, and you play it. That's the end. There's no loading, no updates, unlike computer where you'd have to load. Most media was on floppies back then, so you'd have to load a floppy, which could take a very, very long time. Sometimes there were multiple floppies, so you'd have to switch them out to load all the data into RAM. And then, of course, you'd have to update your computer to actually play newer software, which would require internet a lot of the time. So that was a big issue with computers entirely, too. The next good thing about consoles is they had great games. I mean, just in 1994, Earthbound came out, Sonic 3 came out, Clockwork Knight came out, Ridge Racer came out! Ridge Racer! No, okay. Well, yeah, PlayStation came out in December, so there wasn't really much to that. But Clockwork Knight, great platformer. Sonic the Hedgehog 3, one of the best games ever. And Earthbound, probably my favorite RPG ever, just in 1994. And you also had games that year like Donkey Kong Country, and I believe Metroid for the Super Nintendo came out, and just so many great Genesis games. But the main thing that brought it home with consoles was their exclusive. This was a reason to own both the consoles. For the Super Nintendo, you had Mario, Zelda, Earthbound, Donkey Kong Country, Metroid, Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, Castlevania 4, and Mega Man, to name a few. Where the Genesis had Sonic the Hedgehog, Rocket Knight, Castlevania Bloodlines, and Road Rash 2. I think I meant to put Rocket Knight Adventures there, but yeah, just there was reasons to own not only one console, but both the consoles because of their amazing exclusives. And of course, consoles did not become obsolete a month after you purchased them. They had stellar hardware for the time. I mean, these things came out in 90s and in 1990 and 1991 all over the world, and they were better than the PCs of 1994. So they had amazing hardware for 1994 when it comes to gameplay. And they did not become obsolete very fast because they were supported for about 8 years. That was pretty cool. Whereas your PC, they would lose support in about a month. So, I mean, you've seen 1994 PC stuff where you buy a PC and at least 6 months later it cannot keep up with the system requirements. And I'm talking about a new high-end PC for the time. 6 months later, completely obsolete. And of course, consoles, big thing about consoles was they just never broke. They had no hardware or software issues. They were absolutely, like for instance, I have my Super Nintendo and Genesis today, and they still work without any kind of fuss. You plug the game in, you plug your controller in, you turn them on, same as 1994, 20 years later. Whereas if you find a computer for the time, you're going to have issues. You had issues back then. First of all, if you had a bad software update, it could break your computer. If you had a virus, it could break your computer. Anything basically back then could basically break your computer. It was not nearly as stable as the consoles at the time. I mean, you could have a bad floppy disk drive that broke. You could have all different kinds of things that broke on your computer. And the only way to fix it, there was no part upgradability of computers at the time, or there was hardly anyway. I think that usually started with Dell in 1995, but I'm not entirely sure. There was just no way of upgrading your computer back then, so or fixing your computer if it broke. So that was kind of all the pros of consoles. Now look at the pros of PCs quick. They were very productivity and work oriented. They were made for work. However, you could game on them. You could play games on them. So if you did have a PC already, because a lot of people did at the time, they already just had PCs, you could play games on them. But there was still reasons to own a console, as I said before. And of course, PC did have some great exclusives, but most of them did eventually make it to console. And it had a bunch of extra functionality. It had internet connectivity. They had different peripherals like mice, keyboard, joysticks, things of that nature. There was so much extra functionality with them. So there was reasons to own both a PC and a console at that time. However, today, if you look at the PC pros, they're the same and more as the console pros. First of all, you look at the prices. The price of a PC right now, you can probably find one that will do what the PS4 and Xbox One will do for about $600. That's only a $200 markup from the consoles. Alright, so that is crazy different from last time where you were paying 4 times as much. Now you're just paying a small markup to be on the PC. It has native TV support now. I mean, if you look at your PC, it probably has an HDMI out in the back now. You can just plug it into your TV like you could a console in 1994. You have your controllers. You want to play with an Xbox 360 controller? Just plug it into your computer and it'll work. Xbox One controller? That's supported now. So you can use the same controllers as you could use with your consoles. They're very plug and play now. All you have to do when you get a computer is if you get a custom computer made for you, all you have to do is just, if the operating system is not set up already, just go through some quick settings, plug it into your TV, download Steam, and play games. They're very plug and play now. They have so many great games. I mean, just the indie scene is absolutely fantastic. Then they usually have the third-party games that the consoles have, and they usually have those AAA titles that just are on all platforms, and they're usually the better versions of them. They have great compatibility now. Instead of just being compatible with whatever your computer was compatible with, if it was Amiga or DOS or whatever OS you were using, whatever hardware configuration you were using, now they're compatible with basically all software before them. So if you were playing a game on DOS even, you can emulate it on the computer. You can emulate console games on the computer. I mean, they're just compatible with almost everything. They have exclusives now. Just indie exclusives that can't get published on consoles are on the PC now. They don't become obsolete as quick anymore. They last for a very long time, and if a part does become obsolete, if you need a better graphics card, you can just upgrade that one part, and you can upgrade gradually. Instead of buying a $500 console straight when it comes out, you can buy just a couple $100 in parts here and there every couple of years, and you'll still get a superior experience, in my opinion. And then of course you can personalize them. If you have your PC, well, maybe I want to just play Minecraft on my PC. Then you get a really nice processor and you don't sweat the video card as much. You want to play very, very graphics intensive games and really good looking games. You don't need to get all that expensive of a processor, but you do have the option of getting a fantastic video card. There is a lot of options. And then, if later you have some extra money and you have that cheapo processor and that awesome video card, you can replace that cheapo processor and sell it on eBay or something and get an awesome processor. I mean, they are very personalizable and upgradable. Now, the console pros, they just have their exclusives. There's nothing that these are really the consoles don't overshadow these too much. I mean, yeah, they're priced a little better. Yeah, they're made to be connected to your TV. Yeah, they're made for specific controllers, but realistically, there's nothing the consoles have over PC other than they do have console exclusives. However, today they're losing that. I mean, there has not been many games that have kept their exclusivity on the Xbox One or PS4. Most of them have been ported to PC by now. Now, the only console, and this is about the end of the video where I say, remember the Wii U. The Wii U has an amazing price point at $300. I mean, you cannot buy a PC for what the Wii U can do for $300. It's just unfeasible. You can't do it. It has innovative TV support. I mean, just look at the Wii U gamepad. You can literally hit a button that says TV and control your TV, along with just plugging it and playing it into your older TV or your newer TV. If you want to plug it into your old CRT TV, you can do that. You can get a $2 pair of cords and plug it in. The Xbox One and PS4 cannot do that. You've got TV support in that it will control your TV to go to whatever you want to watch. With TV, you can simply just look through what you want to watch on your TV guide, hit the channel that you want to watch, and it'll change it to that channel. It's innovative TV support. It has an innovative controller. The Wii U gamepad is nothing like you'll find on PC or the other consoles. It really just revolutionizes, I think, gaming consoles in general, and I don't think Nintendo will ever drop it. And I think if Nintendo does make another console in the near future, they will include support for either the Wii U gamepad or release gamepads of that nature for the new console. I think it is an absolutely fantastic controller, and I think it's an absolutely fantastic user interface device. The Wii U is very plug and play. All you have to do is plug it in, and if you don't connect to the internet at all you have to do is just go through the introductory customization and you can start playing your games. For the Xbox One, you have to connect it to the internet. For the PlayStation 4, for some games, you do need to connect it to the internet. The Wii U, you don't have to connect it to the internet. You have your great games on it with great exclusives and innovative compatibility. I mean, you look at the games you get on it. New Super Mario Bros. U. You look at Wonderful 101. There's a third-party game that's a really good game. You've got your first-party games like Pikmin. You got your first-party game like Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. You got, of course, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. And then, of course, you have your entire Wii library that you can play on it. It's innovative compatibility. It's compatibility with its predecessor, and maybe even the GameCube in the future with the GameCube controller support that it's going to be adding. And who knows, maybe you can just pop in a GameCube game and it'll play it. I mean, Wii U's have been modded to do that, so who knows what's possible with it. And then you can play all of your older games on the Virtual Console, and games that you've downloaded on WiiWare with the Virtual Console. So that's kind of my thought with the Wii U. Now, if you combine the Wii U and the PC, you get the prices. You get the TV support for both devices. You get both great controller support, both have great plug and play, both have great games, both are compatible with all of their predecessors, basically. Both have great exclusives, both have innovative TV support, with just the PC being able to just plug in and play on your TV. I mean, they both have great controller support. They both have that plug and play ability where you just plug it into your TV and play it. You have great games for both. You have innovative compatibility with all different kinds of everything that were on those consoles, and you have even more exclusives when you combine the two. So that's kind of my point, and I personally, that's why I don't see a reason to own the new consoles, the Xbox One and PS4. There's just nothing there for me that I can't get out of the Wii U and PC together. Now, why I made this video, there's something that prompted me to make this video. PS4 and Xbox One have had crazy glitches with their internet connectivity, where now there's a glitch out there where the PS4, if you had a PSN account attached to it, there's a possibility that your PS4 will not play games. It's absolutely terrible. You would not have this problem with the Wii U, the PC, or consoles from 1994. The Xbox One proposed DRM. Now, even though that DRM did not happen with the Xbox One, it could happen with the next generation of Xbox and PS4 consoles, and it could be implemented, something like that. Something like that could be implemented soon. which is something I'm very worried about. And the Xbox One and PS4, though they were covered up a little bit better this time, they both did have launch hardware problems. Their initial hardware did end up not working right, with PS4 disk drives not sounding right, which is just a little problem. But I know Richard of Review Tech USA, he brought 2 different Xbox Ones home, and neither of them worked. So that is a big issue. These with the Super Nintendo or Genesis, that would never happen. Wii U's, I have not seen any kind of hardware problems with. PC, if there's a problem with a PC you built, it's either your fault or you need to contact the hardware supplier and they will replace the part for you at no issues. And honestly, the biggest reason I felt this is necessary is for the Xbox One and PS4, there's just no games that excite me on them. No games that make me say, hey, I want to get a PS4 for this game. There's no games like, hey, I want to get an Xbox One for this game. I don't get that with the newer consoles, the Xbox One and PS4. So I guess if there's anything to say with this, I guess really this is why I'm not getting the Xbox One and PS4, and it's why I got the Wii U and I'm getting a better PC instead of getting an Xbox One or PS4. But yet again, this is just for me. This is why I am not getting an Xbox One and PS4. I want to know, why are you not getting an Xbox One or PS4 in the comments, or why are you getting an Xbox One or PS4 in the comments? I want to know. I want to see if you guys disagree with my opinions. I want you to comment if there's something you disagree with in this video. So that's it. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.